What's up guys, LL here, and I'm back for another video. Now, this is my first video in months, so sorry if I'm not quite in the flow yet, but I've been wanting to make a video for a while, but you know, plans can change, and this summer was pretty complicated, so that resulted in my plans changing. Now this isn't necessarily 5 of my favorite mons in the meta, but just 5 of my favorite sets. Obviously, these are not all like, you know, niche mons that are underrated, but they're all like not the number. They're all like my favorite set. Well, not necessarily my favorite sets, but sets I really like on these mons that people may not be thinking of as much as they have before. So first off, we have Life Orb Protean Ninja. Now, obviously, you know, Protean Ninja is pretty widely used, and you know, as of the time of me designing this team, Life Orb Protean Ninja definitely had a lot less usage, but the reason why I like this set so much is because Ashe is super common right now, so people are going to switch their standard Ashe check into like Tang, Feeny, whatever. Obviously, Tangleth and Feeny aren't that common anymore. People are using more consistent answers like Toxapex and Keldeo, but that's where Extra Sensory comes in. Extra Sensory does a fuck ton to Toxapex on the switch in, I think it does like 70 to 80-ish, and then it OHKOs Keldeo straight up, unless I'm remembering wrong, sorry about that. And aside from just, you know, taking down its normal checks, this set just can completely tear apart Fat Balance. After you get Celesteela low, the team literally isn't going to have anything to deal with it. Like, Mega Latios gets lit up by HP, Ferrothorn and Mega Scizor get destroyed by HP Fire, Extra Sensory kills Toxapex and Mega Venusaur, Gunk Shot hits Clefable. Like, this set is really good coverage versus balanced teams, and if you can play it well, they more or less got a very difficult matchup right from Team Preview. Obviously, you're going to get worn down by Life Orb because that's just how Life Orb mons work in the first place. Next up, we got Endeavor Mega Diancie. Now, I really like Endeavor Mega Diancie just because this thing can put a fuck ton of pressure on not just stall, but balance and offense alike. After you've taken, you know, a strong hit, I don't know, say you're switching into Latios, you've taken a Psy Shock and you've killed it. You've taken from a Psy Shock from Latios and killed it. It can be a bit low, so they send in their AV Magearna, their Jirachi, whatever they want to use to check you. AV Magearna is probably going to be the most common one because it's the best one. You just fire off an Endeavor and cut its HP super low. I think, like, if you've already taken a Psy Shock from Latios, that Magearna is going to be down to like 20 to 30%. This is a very good set. I've used it quite a bit since Sun Moon came out. I know this set isn't like, you know, super standard or like super underrated or anything, like people know about it. It's just a set I really like. And Mega Diancie is so nice this gen just because of how many techs it can run. Like, this set, the team I run this on has nature power over HP Fire because it's paired with Tapu Koko, Tapu Koko is such a good teammate for this thing, you don't even know. If Mega Diancie just naturally got T-Bolt, it would be an amazing mon, even compared to how good it is now. Like, T-Bolt hits so many mons, and like, aside from nature power, this thing can also run Psychic for Toxapex and Mega Venusaur. It can run Calm Mind with Power Gem to function as a pseudo setup sweeper that has a really great matchup versus offense and can break down those teams. It can do well versus balance, provided there's not a Doug Trio. And like, there's so many different sets. You can run All Out Attack, or you can run Rock Polish to dick offense. Like, you can honestly run a different set based on what you want to do every single time with this mon, which is something I absolutely adore. Now, the EVs on this set specifically are 176 attack to knock out Chansey with Endeavor into Diamond Storm. You can run more attack if you want, just because Diamond Storm is still spammable as fuck, because rock resists are pretty much limited to steel types, and the steel types that do resist rock are like Magearna and Magearna Ferrothorn. Aside from that, there's not really many rock resisting steel types in the tier. Like, Kartana ain't a resist for anything. because it's so frail. Like, yes, physically it's not too frail, but you still got HP Fire and you outspeed it, so I don't consider that a thing. Magnezone, yeah, it takes rock moves, but if you're running Earth Power, it doesn't want to switch in. So, obviously Diamond Storm's a fine move to run on this set, and the reason why it's good is because it can pressure the special walls that normally wall it on stall, like Chansey. This set, obviously, aside from the mentions I already listed, Mega Dynasty can also run rocks for roll compression on your team, or God forbid Magnet Rise. That's just a funny tech. I don't think it's like something that I'd ever use in tournament play. It's just a funny tech to dodge Earthquake from Lando, beat not get trapped by Dugtrio. Well, I mean, obviously you take on Dugtrio, but So moving on from Diance, you got Choice Specs Chandelure. Now this mon is really good. I love this set a ton, just because it tears apart those bulky balances. Clefable gets O-Code, Celesteela gets O-Code, Toxapex gets 2 killed by Shadow Ball. Oh, Megalodios gets destroyed by Shadow Ball. Like, this set can absolutely tear apart balance. Obviously, the only real concern is Tyranitar, but even that thing gets O-Code by Energy Ball after Rock, so has to be very careful switching in. And Chandelure even has a little bit of, I guess you'd say, utility versus bulkier teams due to its access to Trick, which lets it, trick a Chansey, a Choice Specs, so that your Diancie can break it easier. Obviously, this is going to be on a team that may not have Endeavor Mega Diancie, or your Life Orb Kyurem can break through, or your Protean Life Orb Greninja can break through. Like, there's a lot of different ways that this set can dismantle bulkier teams. Obviously, the matchup versus offense isn't ideal. It's slow or liable to pursuit trapping, but this is still so good right now just because of how many fat balances there are running around. And even versus offense, if you're facing Zard Y offense, you come into Zard and fire off a Sun boosted, Specs boosted, Flash Fire boosted Overheat and just destroy something. So overall, Chandelure is a very good balance breaker that has some defensive utility in terms of walling Mega Charizard Y. Aside from that, it doesn't have too much, but the Ghost typing can deter Mega Metacham from clicking HJK every time it's in and stuff like that. Now moving on, we got Kyurem Black Formation. Now, this Kyurem Black set is ICMZ. I love this set because it gets it gets a kill minimum every game, assuming you play it well, unless you need to sack it off to check a setup sweeper of some sort. Obviously, ICMZ is going to take a fat chunk out of anything that's not a physically defensive Mega Scizor. I think Magearna takes 80%. No, it's less than 80, but it takes a lot. And then Ice Beam Fusion Bolt gives you Bolt Beam, literally. And it's the max attack Fusion Bolt is going to be doing a lot. Practically is a stab move with how strong it is. Earth Power is just a coverage move for stuff like Heatran Magearna. It tries coming in on you. And this is a pretty good set. You can run Outright Rage, you can run Roost, you can run HP Fire in the last slide. Doesn't really matter. I like HP Fire on some teams, but Earth Power is usually what I go with. I like this set a lot overall just because of how much of a fearsome breaker it is. And, the reason why I like this more than, other balance breakers is because versus offense, it has a ton of utility. You resist Ash Greninja's Water Shuriken, so it can't Shuriken sweep late game. And, obviously, as a water resist, you stop things from Keldeo Greninja from, just blowing through you late game. If you can actually do a decent job versus Rain if you play this well. If you come in on their Kingdra on a Hydro Pump and you just Sub-Zero Slam or something out of the game, you're getting your team a lot of momentum and doing well. Obviously, this thing doesn't like AV Magearna at all, hates Mega Scizor, both of which are, at decent amount of usage right now. Aside from that, I like this set a lot. Like I said earlier, deals with a lot of things that are good right now, which is amazing. Everyone and their mom is spamming fat stuff. So breakers like Chandelure, Kyurem, Greninja, Diancie, there's a theme here. They're all good. This last one's a bit more of an anti-offense mon, but I still like it a lot. Now this is going to be Shift Gear Magearna, but it is not the normal Bolt Beam set you see all the time nowadays. Now you can run Farium Z on this set with like Focus Blast as the last move as well. But I like Electrium Z just because of Toxapex and Celesteela, obviously. Now, this set is very, very potent versus like standard offensive teams. Because, you know, they're like, oh, I can use my Mew to wall their Magearna. No. I got my Electrium Z, Gigavolt Havoc, which can take you down if you're weakened. I can spam Flash Cannon, get drops, and, you know, force you to run away screaming. Fluorcan does a fuck ton and can weaken it if they... at pretty much any... and can kill it at pretty much any turn they don't use Soft Boiled, which is very nice. And, you know, obviously this is all the Magearna features. I just like the set quite a bit right now because Bolt Beam doesn't really do as much versus Fat Bounce if your opponent plays well. Obviously, it's not useless at all because of CM, you know, letting it set up. But overall, you know, Bounce usually has something to deal with this. If it, like Ferrothorn or something along those lines. If it doesn't, it's a bad balance team, and you should consider scrapping it immediately. But overall, I like this set a lot just because it takes down common checks for this mon, and it can have a bit of a... I think it does a little bit better versus offense. Obviously, Bolt Beam is generally more consistent overall, but I like this set a lot. You know, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and have a wonderful day.